Hi folks, how we doing today? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sitting here kind of thinking and doing some really loose type of flowers. You know, they're very loose, just putting water down, putting paint on there, moving it around a bit and just kind of seeing what comes out, which is usually very pretty. Now, and it's dry now. It's dry. So what I thought I would do with you guys, and as you can see, there looks like layers, right? So we've got a layer underneath and we've got another layer on top, and that's on purpose. Gives it depth. So what I thought I would do now is in some of these little areas, we want the little flowers that make up the flower itself. I'm trying to think of the name of this right now. For some reason I've lost it. But anyway, you know, there's little flowers that make, tons of little flowers that make up, whoops, sorry, hit the, I'm gonna have to move my water, that make up the whole flower. But we made this so that it would be, you know, well, that seems kind of dark. I've had a problem with lighting lately. Let's see if that, move my little lamp here, I think, over. See if that helps. I think that sheds a little more light. Okay, I'm in a little different spot today. So what I want to do is I want to take, say, the blue. Take the blue. We want it to be more pigmented, so we don't want as much water. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make that little, in fact, I want a little bit more than that on it. I want a little darker. I want it to actually stand out here. These are like amongst all this on each flower, we want something that stands out. So I'm going to take the blue, and these little flowers are kind of like these these like 4-petal type things. Boy, I'm really sorry that I lost the name of the flower for you, but I think in looking at them, you know what they are. It's too funny. Whoops. Okay, wow, we're having trouble here today. All these little things, like Bob Ross always said, no mistakes. There's no mistakes. Just happy accidents. So we got a few happy accidents today. But you see how on top of what I've already done, okay, I had to put my water over there. So I'm going to have to keep reaching for the water, which you know what? I'm going to actually change that around as well. I'm sorry, folks. Guess I should have thought this one out a little bit better, but that's okay. These are the happy accidents that happen in art, and you don't have to worry about them at all. Okay, so there's that. See that one? That kind of makes those particular flower parts stand right out. Now we're going to come over here with the purple, and I'm sorry about the sniffing. I'm trying to remind myself not to while I'm doing one of these but I'm getting over a very bad cold. Whoops, extremely bad cold. And I'm finding that I'm sniffing. All right, so I'm going to come up here and we're going to take a gamboge and just plop it in here with the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a star. It actually looks like a star. Maybe even put some in there, like in there. And then we have the yellow ones there. Let's take some red and see, we want something more pronounced, and then dab out something in the middle there. Up here we could have something even more pronounced, and I think that would be the purple. So we'll just kind of go like this. We don't want a lot of water on this. We want this to be highly pigmented so that because that's the point of what I'm doing right now. I've already done the, you know, the faded, watered down, but you see how much difference that makes to the painting when you do something like that, and it gives it so much nice depth. Now, I did do a little bit the same thing to the leaves. I've got some darker pigments. I'll get a little more greens going on here. I've got this light leaf, and then I'm going to take this darker color here with a little blue in it and green, and I'm going to put it right over the light flower. I'm going to do the same thing right here. I like all wiggly kind of leaves. I meant to say leaf, I didn't mean to say flower. I like the, I don't know, I think it depends on what I'm doing, but in this one I'm doing wiggly leaves. So we're taking, you know, we're just kind of doing this so we can, so do you see the point of what I'm talking about? We had a very faint group of flowers, and what we had to do was we had to go in and get some stronger paint and put it in so that we can see, you know, kind of showing, we're showing the person, whoever's looking, we're showing them what the actual flower is. I'm going to take a light colored, really yellow color here, add some into there, but right here I'm going to add that one, and then I'm going to go right into on top of it, get some darker green with a darker green with a little bit of yellow ochre in it. I think a little pink, because I like to add in my greenery, I like to add the colors of the painting. It's called Harmony. So here we are, we're dancing around some darker colors over the lighter colors, lighter leaves, some darker ones over the lighter leaves. So we're getting the effect also in the leaves. I'm going to do that up here as well. We have a light green leaf and a medium colored green leaf, and now right on top of all that, I'm going to add this, it's a pink, add this pretty dark green one. And do you see what's happening? I'm sorry that the camera's shaking. And up here, I'm going to do that similar kind of thing. I'm going to grab it, dance it around, the color, the darker color, take some paint out, do the same thing here. And as we keep adding, we're paying attention to that. We're adding another layer. That's what we're doing here. We're adding layer onto layer. It's still very loose on purpose, but it's also has depth, even though it's, you know, it's loose, even though it's loose. Putting some kind of light purple. So you see, you're getting these layers all over your painting, and it really makes your painting stand out so much more. Now, I mean, you could do so many different things here. You could go on and continue to add more layers. You could, like, possibly even add more of the light colors. You could add more leaves, whatever. It's all what you want to do. But the whole point of this was to show you that we did a very light wash on the paper, so it indicated that these were flowers, some sort of flower. And then we did another little bit of layering on. So some areas looked like they were very light, and some looked like they were very dark. I have to get some water. So that we have depth in the painting, and we have something that has character, we have something that has harmony, we have something that has depth, we have beauty. So it's not dull, you know, you're just not looking at something that is like paint on paper or something. It's actually doing something, saying something. Now I thought what I'd do here, and we've got some stems, you know, here, just kind of, because I wanted this to be very, very loose. I didn't want this to be defined. I wanted it to be loose, and then I forgot that I didn't have a stem off this one. So I'm just adding that there. Just putting that, I think, kind of like that, and then maybe I will just kind of drag that out. See that flowers can follow, you know, you want to be able to follow things. And here I've got some very light green, so I'm going to take the same green, but it's not as watered down, and I'm putting it over the very light part that I had underneath it. I'm going to go over to here and go on top of, it's dry, and even if it wasn't dry, it's fine, it would just mix, which is what all this did. So we've got, you know, lighter there. How I got these light colors all as well is I put them down like a wash, and then I pulled them out like this, kind of so that they surrounded the outside of the flower. And it, you know, gives it that, like underneath, like there's stuff underneath, you know, which is what you want. So it's already turned into something quite a lot different, right? So I think now in my videos, my whole goal this time around is to make these videos a lot shorter than what I was doing before. So before I get too far into what I'm doing here and any more ideas that come into my head, which inevitably would, that's the whole thing, I'm going to take a larger brush, probably this size. This is like an 8, whichever size you want it is fine. I'm going to dip it into my red, one of my reds. My light here just doesn't want to stay where it's supposed to stay. And I'm going to hold it like this. I'm going to take another one, and I'm going to do this. And then it's not doing it anymore. Wet it. Don't dry it off. Put it right in the paint so you can get some real pretty, look at that, real pretty like nuances. I don't exactly know what they're called, but like nuances. I'm actually going to do that, I think, with the gold, because I have some gold here. And I think I'm going to try and see if I can make that happen. I think that would be, yeah, I think that would be really pretty to get some little gold specks around. See if they'll show up. This kind of technique kind of goes everywhere, so you just make sure you don't have something right nearby that you don't want, you know, to get stuff on. But you see, and there we have like this, it just adds even more. So that's what I wanted to show you today, was how you can do something very washy and very light, and just keep adding on top and on top and on top, and it just continues to, you know, really enhance the painting. And it, you know, you go with it wherever you want to go. This is what I wanted to do, show you that technique, show you the importance really of those layers on top of layers, so that underneath you've got this nice light washes, then on top you've got some more light, some darker, then on top you've got some dark. I mean, the only other thing I am going to do is on a couple of these with my really dark perline green, I'm going to make some of these last ones on the top very dark in some areas, because we need, even in the loose, you should have, you know, those variances in the colors, and I really need something really dark in some areas. So we're just going to take that perline green. Sometimes I add brown, sometimes I add blue, but you see that now you have like a nice dark. I'm going to add some brown to the perline, and right about here I'm just going to wiggle in what looks like a flower. I'm going to add some blue to it, and I'm going to put some purples. I want something really dark. So there we go. Oh, I like that. Okay. I even add that into here and some of that into here. You see how that, and I'm going to go over here, right up here, and put some in. Now you see how that certainly does make a difference. So there we have it for this particular tutorial, folks. I think these are called hyacinths. Now that I think of it, I think they're either hydrangeas or hyacinths, but I knew at the beginning. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned a little something. Take a look at some of my other videos that I've got on my channel. It's a fairly new one, but that's all right. Everybody starts somewhere. I had one years ago, but in different life situations, ended up losing it. And it wasn't just painting. I wanted to stick to just painting. I also do use jelly gouache in some of my paintings, but right now I'm kind of sticking with the watercolor at the moment. So check them out. There's some other interesting things in the other ones. I'm sure you'll have fun with it. I hope you kind of take the video and do whatever you gotta do, slow it down, rewind it, whatever, and try it yourself. It's not hard. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just do it, put it on the paper, do it, and eventually you'll get something. If you want to, if that's what you want to do. If you're watching a painting tutorial, more than likely you're interested in watercolor painting. So have a wonderful rest of your day, folks, and bye for now.